Morning. So once you know what you're going to pack in your backpack for a day hike, you have to think about what you're going to wear for a day hike. Now, what you're going to wear is going to depend a lot on the time of year, where you're going hiking, and what the weather's going to be like for that day. So take a look at the weather forecast. How hot is it going to be? How windy is it going to be? How rainy is it going to be? Think about these things, but always be prepared for whether it's going to be outside of what the forecast is. It might be hotter, it might be colder, it might be wetter, it might be windier. So think about these things when you're deciding what to wear. In terms of what you're wearing, the material is important. Cotton is generally not a good option. If it gets wet, it's going to be very heavy. It's also not going to give you any insulative value. That said, some good heavy cotton cargo pants, your Boy Scout shirt are good options. They're not all bad. You shouldn't just say because it's cotton you should never wear it outside. But all of your gear shouldn't be cotton. You should have some other materials in there as well to keep you warm. So that's either going to mean wool, and a lot of people won't like wool because it's scratchy. Well, if you get really good wool, if you get merino wool or even just really high quality wool, and especially if you condition it, it really isn't that scratchy. But I do know that for some people that is just not very comfortable. So synthetic fleeces are really a good option. So what I have on now is actually I tend to prefer natural materials, but today it's all synthetic. So I've got a kind of a North Face kind of stretchy, lightweight, quick drying, good wicking material that's going to take all the perspiration and move it away from my body. Wool is exactly the same thing. And it's short sleeve, so that if it gets warm out, I can cool down. For my trousers, I've got a pair of soft shell trousers. They've got reinforced knees and ankles and all that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily need that, but it's a good pair of trousers, and it keeps the moisture away, so it's moisture repellent. So that's a good option as well. But as I said before, a good pair of cargo trousers is really good. What doesn't work so well are like track bottoms or jogging pants. They're not going to give you a lot of protection. Finally, socks. These are quite low socks. Often I'll have kind of once they go halfway up my leg. But there's some good wool walking socks. If where you can invest the most for a day hike in terms of your clothing is definitely your socks. Get a good pair of socks that are padded, that are going to keep you both comfortable and prevent blisters all day, and into rain gear. You can't underemphasize that enough, or overemphasize that enough. You want some good rain gear. Also got a good pair of sturdy footwear, good treads on there. I'm not going to slip. I prefer a low cut boot. I find I just don't need that ankle support. Now that's gonna vary where you're hiking. Sometimes a higher boot is absolutely essential, but I find this works really well. Even when I'm doing backpacking, long distance backpacking, 100 miles, 150 miles, I'll use shoes just like this. I find it works out really well. So, but what you want is something that's sturdy, tough, and some good treads, so you're not going to slip. Now, on top, what you're going to want is, as I said, a good jacket. Absolutely. And you're going to want some layers. So you're not going to want one really thick jacket and then a t-shirt underneath. You're going to want several layers so that you can regulate how warm you're going to be. Because especially if you're hiking, remember, you're going to be exerting a lot of calories when you're walking, so you're going to get really hot. And then when you stop for lunch or stop for a break, you're going to be probably sweaty. And when you stop, you're going to cool down very, very quickly. So always have, even if it's a warm day, some kind of a fleece or a sweater or a long sleeve shirt that's quite heavy, something you can put on. What I've also got here, again, just thinking about layering, is a set of merino wool tops and bottoms. If it gets really cold, the bottoms are good to put on, but the tops, I'm probably going to use that more frequently. Just something to put on when I get into camp or I finish the day, or as I said, I'm taking a break. This one's quite thin, so it's a good option if it's just getting a little chilly. If I want something just a little bit more protection, I can put this on. So I've got on top 3 different options. If I put all these on, I'm going to be quite warm. finally, a hat. Hat's a good option if it's in the summer months or even the fall and spring. You know, something to keep the rain and the sun off is a good option. If it's the winter months, then definitely get some kind of a wool or a fleece hat to keep you warm. So that's what I take when I go. That's what I wear when I go on a hike. Hopefully that can help you out. Hope you learned something, and be prepared, have fun, and enjoy the outdoors. Take care.